So when I went into therapy, I was very awkward, and everyone told me that I couldn't talk. For a couple weeks, this went on. I couldn't express myself. I just had to listen to other people's stories and watch. And so I did. And the second week was awful. I was sweating. I had night terrors. I would constantly wake up screaming, soaked in sweat. My bed was soaked in sweat, my clothes, every single night. That's because all the drugs that I had inside of me, I had to go through a detox. It was a serious situation, and I would constantly wake up and not know where I was, and figure out I was in the hospital, and it was an awful experience. On the third week, it was finally my turn to talk. And I didn't know what to say. I was awkward. I just said, "My name's Bobby." In the first week, I was so involved and wanted to talk, and they wouldn't let me, and now I just don't even know what to say. So for my AA meetings, I had to put some money out for an interpreter. There were many different types of people there. There were young, old, men, women, various types of people. And I would listen to different stories, and some were worse than mine, and sometimes mine were worse than theirs. There was just a variety. Some were clean for months, and others clean for years. It just was a wide range. One thing that we all had in common, though, is that alcohol was a problem. And I learned that step one was to admit that you can't have alcohol control your life. So I brought an interpreter into all these meetings. After a month of therapy, I was done. I had to leave, but I was awkward. I didn't know. So they sent me to a halfway house. There's about 14 men in one house, and we were all had the same problems. And I only got an interpreter for one meeting a week. That's all. But I was stubborn, and I wanted to improve my life and stop drinking and put my old life behind me. And so I didn't care if I didn't have an interpreter. I would go and help set up the coffee machines and coffee tables and the chairs. It didn't matter to me. I did 90 meetings in 90 days. That's usually how it is. But I did 180 meetings in 90 days. So that's 2, 3, 4 meetings every day. And that's because I really wanted to be clean. If there was a speaker or people were discussing, and it was hard for me to understand, I didn't care. I just felt safe. Because out in the real world, there are temptations everywhere, and I didn't want to be tempted. So I would go into the meetings and just feel better. We had a book that we would bring, and they would tell me to read, and I would read, and I would watch the speakers, and I would sit in the front and try to see what they were saying, but I felt safe in those meetings. So there are AA meetings, NA meetings, which is Narcotic Anonymous, and CDA meetings, which is Chemical Dependency Anonymous meetings. So I would go to work, and after work I would go to the meetings because it helped me. I had 2 sponsors who supported me, and I was not satisfied with one. I wanted 2. And I think it's very important because I'm deaf myself, and my first strain of contact is hearing. Now it's easier to communicate because there's video phones, but back then there was a TTY and communication just lacked as a whole. So I had 2. If my first one failed, then I had my backup ready, and they were both strict and helped me follow the steps and what to do. So I did step 1, step 2, and then when I got to step 3, I got stuck. I had to give my life up to God, which I didn't understand. Who's God? He's nothing in my life. So I skipped step 3. They badgered me to do it, but I went all the way to 10, and 6 years later, I finally understood God and finished step 3. But at that time, They wanted me to finish step 3, and I didn't really care. But anyway, I went through the process, continued to go to the meetings. My life slowly began to change and improve. It was not a fast improvement. Most of the time I would think about going back to drinking, and then I just thought about how screwed up my life would be. And I have a heart problem. If I would continue to drink, I would have died for sure. My doctor tested my liver, and there was a C word, I don't remember what it is, but it means that I had really bad liver damage. So if I would have continued to drink 2 or 3 more months, I would be dead. My doctor said I was lucky I stopped when I did. And I kept that in my mind ever since. If my liver damages any more, I would have been dead. So yes, there are temptations. Sometimes I would go to the bar and sit in there and think about it and then leave before I even got a drink. But I am serious. I want a better life, and I know communication's hard and I get frustrated, but I want to be clean. I'm worried about today. I'm not worried about tomorrow. When I wake up tomorrow, then I can face my fears that day and my challenges that day. That's my theory. Take it one day at a time, 1 year at a time, and then slowly it becomes easier. And it's not a fast process, but 3 years, 4 years, continually going to the meetings, I would continue to go and then meet different deaf people and then help other people. But AA is the same everywhere. People go to the meetings to get help and support and stay positive. So, my old life, I want to keep it behind me, and I want to keep going through with my new life. And every time I take a step forward, I improve my life just a little bit at a time. And since then, I'm comfortable. Is it perfect? No. There's always temptations. Everyone has problems. Money issues, family, work, friends, just a ton of different things. The whole world has pressures. Economic, military, war. There's many different things. And all of that gets pushed on different people. And of course, it's normal and it's okay. There are temptations, but that does not mean that it needs to lead you back to your old ways. If I go back to drinking, I would die for sure. And I don't want that. I want to enjoy my life. I want to be clean. And I want to help other people that had the same problems that I used to have. I look back on my experience in therapy and the people that helped me, and now it's my turn to help others. That's what AA is all about. That's how we're all connected. They help me, I help them. Is it easy? No. But I'm here to help and encourage other people because that was what was given to me. Many people that help me, they need help too. And God helped me as well. I help people to become clean and alcohol free, just as I have become. Is it perfect? No. But you feel better. I feel better. And it's okay. You have to keep positive and take it day by day and step by step. Thank you for listening to my story. Truly. Thank you.